I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about feeling powerful after my breakup.
Okay.
So we've got a great follow-up to a previous video we had done, and they wanted to share their story of how they've been doing. And so we're going to get into that in a minute. I wanted to say a few things before we get started. One, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit the notification icon, because there have been a lot of changes on YouTube recently, and so a lot of people will say they're not getting notified or they're not seeing when we have new videos. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification thing, so that way as soon as a new video comes up, you get to see it.
And we don't want you to miss a thing.
That's right.
Right.
Otherwise, the other channels will start getting promoted over us, and you'll be doing handwritten letters.
Oh, it'll be awful. Right.
Or good reminder text. The other thing I wanted to say is that back in the store is the mug. You can see the Coach Margaret.
You can see the mug matches the mug.
It says Supreme Leader.
Yeah.
We've had multiple problems with this getting removed from the store. I don't know if you know this, Margaret, but it kept getting removed because of the word Supreme. There's a brand called Supreme, and because it says Supreme in it, it keeps getting removed. And then the other thing is that it says Coach Margaret, and so the brand Coach keeps getting it taken off too.
Lord.
So we're getting double whammies.
Okay.
But it is in the store right now. We also have the phone cover,
which I happen to have right here, and I know you'd love to have these items in your home.
Why not? And then we got, it's got my logo on the other side.
Right. But my side of it with the face is bound to make you laugh on your darkest day, I would think.
So you can get that in the Teespring store. I just wanted you guys to know that it is available, because some people are like, what happened to the mug? I wanted to get
it. And we want you to have it.
Absolutely. So the follow-up I have today is a really good success story. It's a follow-up to the video that was called I Was Lost and Depressed. Oh. And you know who it is because you did a coaching with him. I did a coaching with him.
Yes.
And so here's what he has going on. He said, it goes without hesitation to wish you both a huge thank you for me to hold my hands up and admit that I was one of those people who didn't believe I would have a success story. Mm-hmm. No, I haven't got my ex back. And 8 months ago, while watching your videos for the first time, I was hopelessly thinking, I'm desperate for me to get my ex back and to be a success story on this channel. And it surely cannot be a success story if you don't get your ex back. He says how wrong I was. And that is absolutely true.
Well, how good of him to say that.
You don't want to determine whether you're a success story based on what somebody else does.
Right.
What you do with this breakup can determine and dictate being a success story, right? Because many of you may find that you have another opportunity with your ex and you choose to move on.
Right.
Does that mean you're not a success story?
No.
No, of course not. So he goes on to say, my original video was I was lost and depressed. The guy who kept referencing Thor as my hero. To summarize, my ex broke up with me after my last master's exam in January of 2019, completely out of the blue. I blamed myself immensely, thinking everything I did was wrong. I should have done this, I could have done that, and I hopelessly chased her at first, making all the mistakes possible.
The shoulda, couldas are awful. It's easy to beat yourself up with them.
Absolutely. I came across Craig Kenneth YouTube channel in a state of desperation. I had to do whatever it takes He said that's an Avengers Endgame quote, to get her back. But I had no idea that the unconscious and subconscious behaviors of our childhood had continued into adulthood. And wow, my eyes were open wider and wider ever since.
Wow.
You know, Margaret, it's really amazing how little there is for information for people to know.
I agree. We don't talk about it.
And even many clinicians aren't exploring
Right.
how our childhood and our childhood attachment and traumas is directly related to how we are as adults.
And there are some historical reasons for that. Way back in the Middle Ages, when I began doing this, most therapy was based on Dr. Freud, who ended up getting a bad rap for blaming parents for children's problems. But to understand one's history is not to blame one's parents, it's to understand where they were coming from also.
Yeah.
So I think we're just starting to come back with attachment studies on really looking at the impact of childhood.
And I think that we'll see in the next few years, attachment theory will just continue to spread like a wildfire.
I think so too.
And thank you to all of you guys who share our channel with friends and family.
Yeah.
And, share what you've seen and how your life has changed because of it.
Right.
Okay, let me go on. He said, I became obsessed with Craig's channel. Videos became a daily priority. Throughout my time watching the videos, I was thinking, no reaching out, no acting needy, no settling for desperation, but more important, seeking the challenge to become a better and stronger version of myself. Both emotionally, mentally, and physically. Craig and Margaret were brilliant. And again, thank you for sharing your success story with us, because it's really great to hear from you again. He says, but I knew I could do more. I hired both Margaret and Craig for a Skype coaching. I could not appreciate more the passion, knowledge, and insight that these guys had. It's like they were living my life for the past few years, my ex's life, and then also both of our childhoods. I had answers to the breakup, but I knew I could do more. What started out as one of the worst things that has happened in my life has now turned into the best experience. And there is no higher compliment from somebody than
there
that.
isn't.
That when you go through this and
you grow.
Yeah, it's incredible. He said, I'm not a new person, but I'm a better, more confident, outgoing, empathetic, and emotionally stronger version of myself. I still know I could do more. Craig's workbooks were and are a stroke of genius. Well, thank you for saying that.
Yes, he's had a few.
If you haven't bought them or are hesitating, then stop. Save your coffee money or cash you spend at a bar and get those workbooks. Because I'm telling you now, you have a direct question and answer that paints you a picture of who you were, who you want to be, and how to get there. I never knew how awful I was at empathy, communicating effectively, love languages, and validating. I'm not blaming myself.
No.
But I hold my hands up and say that these were areas I knew I could improve. Most of all, though, the attachment styles and understanding red flags were the biggest wake-up calls. I was anxious and used every excuse to more than likely ignore any potential red flags that were obvious to a lot of other people. If you watch my original video, I Was Lost and Depressed, you will see how attached my ex was to her mother, and more likely still is. So, why is this a success story? To those of you thinking, dear God, please give me back my ex, and we completely understand why you still feel like that.
Yes.
Please trust me when I say, what turned out to be the worst thing in my life has turned out to be the best. Here's why. I met Craig and Margaret over Skype. I learned about myself. I prioritized personal growth. I grow stronger emotionally, physically, and mentally. And now I'm single, dating freaking awesome, attractive women, got much higher marks in the rest of my masters, and very soon traveling to Australia with a working visa in the next month. I could not be more excited. I feel as powerful as Thor. My path has led me to bigger and better things with more knowledge, more skills, and most of all, more attraction. Women are coming onto me, and due to Craig and Margaret, it almost feels like I have the Matrix vision of these girls. He says, in my head, ticking off the red flags. Would gratefully appreciate if you could share my story on YouTube, as you guys deserve endless amounts of praise and credit. Sir, Coach Craig, Kenneth, and Dame Margaret Foley.
Oh, that's great.
And he said, big thank you from Thor.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for having the wherewithal to do what you've done.
It's important for you guys listening to understand that you feel powerless right now.
Right.
You feel like your situation is hopeless. But if you do the things that we suggest and you really focus on that personal growth and the real strategies we give you, you will feel powerful.
Yes, you will.
And you will get to a place where you are feeling so good about where your life is, who you are versus who you were, and who you're going to become, that you really can turn something like a breakup, where it may be the most devastating thing that's ever happened to you, into the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Right.
Right?
I was reminded today by someone I talked with that personal growth feels good.
It really
Right?
does.
It does.
And it feels good to talk about it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you guys would love to talk to us, and that's what we're here for. Some of you guys may want to get a therapist locally as well. We always recommend talking about it.
Talk. Yeah. Words are our salvation here.
And that's how you're going to heal and feel better.
Right.
And that's what I did. When I was going through my breakup with the Applebee's girl, you couldn't keep me out of Margaret's office.
And grow you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was because of that I became who I am now. Because of all the struggles that I've dealt with in my breakups, it motivated me to learn all the stuff that I did and to teach you guys that, so you guys can really change your life and turn something negative into something that makes you feel powerful.
Absolutely. And I like the image of Thor. Thank you for using that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great success story. Thank you for giving us an update. We love to hear success stories from you guys, and share updates when you can and when you feel the need to. You just send them to me on the website. And of course, if you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coachings and I do Skypes. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching.
Yes, if you think I can be helpful to you, please feel free to sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.